The 2013 CFL season kicks off this Thursday, and right now we're going to take a look at the futures odds of the 8 teams to win the Grey Cup this year. The mild overall favorite right now is British Columbia at about plus 350 market-wide. BC, of course, has been the class of the CFL recently. They won the Grey Cup in 2011, and then they were cruising last year, finishing the regular season at 13-5, and they appeared primed for another title until they got upset by Calgary in the West Final, despite having home field advantage. So this year, the Lions will probably have some kind of revenge on their minds, and they're very likely to at least have another dominant regular season. Their roster is revamped a bit from last year. They got rid of a number of veterans, but they held on to their cornerstone players and their offensive line that has allowed the fewest sacks in the league for 2 years in a row, and their defense is also elite and balanced. The second choice is Calgary at plus 400. Calgary is also coming off of a near-miss year where they were 12-6 in the regular season. They beat BC in the playoffs and played in the Grey Cup. They returned the core of their team from last year. Starting quarterback Drew Tate expects to be healthy the whole year this year, unlike last season. And on defense, they will return 11 of their 12 starters from last year. Grey Cup defending champs Toronto are the third choice at plus 450. 2012 was a magical, fated year for the Argos. They had finished last in the East in 2011, but came out of nowhere to surprise, make the playoffs, and win the Cup while hosting it in Toronto. The Argos are anchored by 2 top offensive players, super reliable quarterback Ricky Ray and reigning most outstanding player Chad Owens, and they will also return all 5 starters from their offensive line from last year. They will be losing all their starters from their defensive line, though, so that'll be a big question mark heading into the season. Then the fourth choice is Montreal at plus 550. And this is looking like a transitional year for Montreal, as they will go through a coaching change, and their starting quarterback may be losing a step at 40 years old, although he is coming off another quality season in 2012. The Owls do have a veteran, experienced roster, but they will need to find chemistry to be a better than average team this year. The fifth choice is Saskatchewan at plus 650. Saskatchewan hosts the Grey Cup this year, and they've acquired a lot of new talent in hopes of making a serious run for the Cup. 5 years ago, of course, the Roughriders were a regular participant in the Grey Cup, and after a couple of down years, there is talk they might have the roster now to return to that level of play. They've loaded up with quality receivers on offense, but there are questions on the offensive line last year, and they did address those questions in the draft. They've also made major additions to their defensive line, and they've clearly stocked up in general to make a run at the Grey Cup, so at plus 650, wouldn't be a surprise at all if they wound up winning it. Then the sixth choice is Hamilton at plus 700. Hamilton has some questions on offense, but the bigger issue this year for them will be on defense. They finished last in most major defensive statistical categories last year, and in response, they have revamped their entire defense, but it's not clear at all that they'll see a major improvement on D. The D will be key to it all, and if it's substandard again, they'll almost certainly have another poor record in the regular season. And then the last 2 choices are Edmonton at plus 1,000 and Winnipeg at plus 2,000, both, of course, with serious concerns on both sides of the ball heading into the regular season. The Eskimos do, though, have some very positive signs on defense at the moment. The Bombers, though, won't be seeing many changes this year on either side of the ball, and that does not bode well for them after a 6-12 season in 2012. And that's a look at the futures odds for the 2013 Grey Cup heading into the CFL regular season. For SBR Forum Videos, I'm Peter Loshak.